Welcome back to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to talk about perfection. We all know we can't be perfect, yet we are so influenced to crave that illusion because of the things that we see on the internet. And once I wanted to be someone else too, like especially when I was young, when I was looking at other people and comparing myself to others, how I look and what I have, I just wanted to be someone else than myself. And my obsession towards to the perfection definitely held me back from pursuing my dreams or challenging myself or like being fully myself and being confident in public or in front of the people. And it is actually hard to embrace the imperfection and actually be okay with it. But we have to remind ourselves on a daily basis that this is who we are. And it's very sad that on social media, basically what we all see is fucking bullshit. And that convenience is now so toxic, and it is not helping us to love ourselves or to accept who we are. But the problem is the responsibility is on our side, the consumer side, the people who is watching, the consuming the contents, not the people who's putting a bullshit out there. So you have to understand that you hold the responsibility for your own mental health and for your brain and what you based on what you see. The most of the things that you see on social media is basic needs in a human being, but it manifests in a different way. For instance, have a pretty face. And guys, I was so shocked when my friend told me that most of the girls have a fake lips on Instagram, and I was like, no. Well, but it looks good though. So please do not mindlessly believe what you see on Instagram or whatever the social media is, because it's so toxic for you. So in this video, we're going to talk about perfection. Alright, welcome to my channel. My name is Sho, and in this channel we're going to talk about love and positivity. So if you enjoy talking about love and positivity, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell. So let's talk about youth. When we are young, it is one of the most tough times that we have to go through, because the kids are horrible. I'm not talking about your kids, I'm talking about kids in general. We all used to be kids, we all been there, right? But let's face it, kids doesn't have this stopper from saying things that can hurt other people. Or, the whole experience in the school can be very traumatic for a lot of people. But sometimes the kids are not really thinking that this is a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? Why I'm saying that kids, it can be very horrible. And actually, I've been through the bullying, and a lot of people hated me in school. That definitely shaped certain aspect in my life, held me back from putting myself out there, expressing myself, or chasing my dreams, pursuing my dreams. Definitely held me back, because that experience itself really shaped me to become calm and not express myself, because I was afraid, I didn't want to be hated again. When we are kids, we just want to be acknowledged. We just want to be acknowledged by our parents, teacher, other friends. We just want to be this good kid and cool kids, like pretty kid, whatever it is. So obviously in our head, we know that we need to challenge and we need to, take risks. We need to accept ourselves and, all the ideas that you can get from YouTube and books. We all know that. But there's definitely a certain aspect from the childhood is holding us back. And like maybe you relate with me in terms of like having some sort of experiences that really hold you back and still holding you back from pursuing yourself and like putting yourself out there. You don't want to be judged, you don't want to be, hated, you don't want to receive negative comments. But also, you can't forget about this expectations and pressure from our parents. And I'm Asian, and I do have a parent. That means they're strict. That is probably the most stereotypical thing that you can think of. But that is true. Well, my dad was more chill and he was laid back. But my mother has a very strict and very strong personality in terms of, educating me when I was younger. So maybe if you're Asian, you definitely relate. And honestly, compared to the people who their parents expect them to be a doctor and like lawyers and have like degree in the school and like go to the top university, my education was not that bad. My mother was also a formal fashion model, so she really cared how other people look at you. So that was really so much pressure on a daily basis wherever I go. You have to behave because people are looking at you, you know. And then that really suppressed who I am because I wanted to express myself. But now, if she's next to me, she is the one who's doing things and saying things for me because she wants to make it proper. So I didn't have a space to be who I am, and I just didn't know how to be who I am at that point. So it's crazy because it's affecting me still, that, you know, expectation that my mother has for me to be this ideal kid, ideal child. Maybe you relate to that, I don't know, but it doesn't matter if you're white, black, you know, you might have very strict parents, but not every time is the bad intention. Sometimes the parents genuinely so excited to see you grow and is so excited to see how my child is going to be. So that excitement sometimes can be a pressure and expectations, and that really hold us back from, you know, accepting who we are and embracing our imperfection. But here's the thing, if you struggled from your parents' expectations, but you have high standards or like lots of accomplishment, high paying jobs, that means that your parents gave you that discipline. Your parents gave you some sort of ability to accomplish things, but it's not always a bad thing. So we have to also, you know, appreciate the fact that now, because of that the part of our life, we have ability to do something better. Now, whatever the reason that you became so obsessed with the perfection, you have to let it go. It's a time to let go. It's time to embrace your imperfection. It's time to accept who you are, and then being okay with the fact that you have flaws, the fact that you have insecurities. I'm shooting today, right? I'm shooting this right now, but I've shot the same video yesterday, and I was editing afterwards because it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be an amazing video, and I was editing, and then I was like, I don't like it. But that was not my perfection, because I started to work on my social media. And let me tell you a story. I started working on my social media about 3 years ago. I only had like 1,000 followers, and I was so afraid. To put myself out there because I'm Japanese, and me talking about spirituality, or like me talking about energy, a lot of attractions and manifestations, how I was raised in a cultural aspect and the things that I was seeing on the TV, it was not really an ideal topic to talk about. So I was so scared to be judged. I was afraid that I would be judged as, oh, this guy's creepy, weird Asian guy who talks about spirituality with the crystals. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to be just like weird guy. I wanted to be cool. I mean, everyone want to be cool, right? Everyone want to be pretty. Everyone want to be cool. There's nothing wrong with that. We should be able to represent ourselves in the best way. But it has nothing to do with you being perfect. So because that perfectionism came from my fear. So I started to put myself out there, you know, taking risks, and then like, okay, fuck it, I'm going to do it. So I challenged myself to post videos and start talking about things that I wouldn't enjoy much. But along the way, what I've learned is that there's no way that you can match with your ideal perfect like version of yourself to start something, and there's no way that you can be there. It's like along the last 3 years, I became who I wanted to be probably 5 or 6 years ago. And that is a huge accomplishment. That is a beautiful moment to acknowledge for myself. But I couldn't be who I am right now when I started a YouTube channel, when I started an Instagram, you know, TikTok journey. I couldn't. I knew less. And then that lack of knowledge also definitely held me back. Do I know enough to start speaking? People look at me and they're like, you don't know shit. You don't even have a degree, you know, like you're this and that. But here's the thing. That is how the things works. We start learning, and then we start being competent, and that level of ability can actually help people. Maybe you can't help the CEOs, but maybe you can help things that people who's looking for the help in that area. Do you know what I mean? Like if you start playing basketball, and let's say you're like level 3, But you can teach people who wants to be a level 1. And that's the thing. You don't have to be level 10 in order to teach people who want to be a level 2. If you're a level 3, then you can teach the people who's level 3, level 1. You can speak to people who's level 1. And hey, like, this is what I experienced. And then this is how I've learned. And now I'm at level 3 and I'm proud of myself. But the journey keeps continuing. Because the journey is not going to be completed until we leave the planet, right? The story never be completed until the story ends. So that's why we have to focus on imperfection, right? That's why we accept who we are and being present. Like, let me tell you, like, I always try to make a humor I'll try to make a joke. I'll try to make some funny part in the video, but when I start speaking, I kind of like lose that part, right? Like, I start to lose because I'm not that funny, I'm not that good, especially when I'm like talking some serious stuff. Obviously we were talking about some serious stuff, so I'm like, I wish I could, make this video more funny and more creative and more enjoyable to watch. But you have to let it go. You have to be okay with that in that moment. This is I do the best. I did my best I can, and I'm going to put it out there and hope people like it and hope people enjoy it. Hope that actually bring the value on the table. As I said, so we circle back the part that I'm actually shooting twice. And we should embrace our imperfection because we are beautiful as we are. This is all we got, right? Like, we can't just change it. There are things that we can't change. So it's better to embrace and enjoy what we have rather than like feeling like shit the rest of your life. But the truth is, you should be okay with whatever you are, whoever you are in this present moment. And that is the acceptance. That is embracing who you are. But we also should aim better, because embracing who you are should be motivational and inspirational. It's not like you giving up, like, I'm imperfect, so I don't need to do anything. I'll sit on my couch and I eat potato chips and just, that's not the idea of imperfection. Is embracing imperfection is you're empowering yourself by embracing your imperfection. It is something that you have to give your effort. Obviously, you have to face your fear. If you're afraid to be judged, then that's something that you have to deal with. If you feel like you're not good enough because of that pressure and an expectation from other people, then you start to love yourself. You start to have to give yourself the support and love that you really needed. And take my word from somebody who had millions of views and followers on social media. Whatever you do, whatever you are, there's going to be people who's going to say shit about you. I have so many beautiful people who support me and who appreciate, what I do and the messages and content that I provide. But there's obviously people who don't. And that's okay. So there's no way that you can be perfect for anybody but yourself. So if you think about that, chasing that perfection is literally making you stay away from being loved and feeling loved and actually loving yourself. So start embracing your imperfection, start accepting who you really are, and then start loving it. And start being who you are, allowing yourself, because you deserve to be completed in this present moment. And because I sometimes disappoint myself, I sometimes inspire myself, I sometimes make myself laugh, I sometimes make myself angry. And that's okay, and that's life, because I'm building a relationship with myself. I'm building the connection with myself. I'm trying to understand myself and who I am and what I'm good at and what I'm not good at and what I need to work on, what I need to improve myself, and what I love doing, what I'm not so good at. That's life. Every relationship that you will form in your life, there's not going to be like happy moment 24/7 and pleasure 24/7. Life is about whatever you're experiencing, whether it's a sadness, whether it's an obstacle, whether it's happiness, to enjoy the best way you can. And sometimes we make mistakes, and that's okay, because you can't change what happened in the past. Obviously, you can't change the mistake that you made, right? You might have to fix it, but the things that you can change is that what's going to happen in the future. and what you can do in this present moment, right? And let me share one of my favorite quote. Life is 10% of what you make, and the rest of 90% is how you take it. You know, we are so caught up with like, we have to make something out of it. We have to make something. But the truth is, the most important part is how you take it. So let's be fucking imperfect and enjoy this life while we improve ourselves, while we work on ourselves, and to accept and to love and to also connect. And I'm pretty sure there's some part of you that wants to express yourself out there. So go out there. I know it's going to be uncomfortable, but the challenge and an accomplishment that comes out of it is worth it. So be the love you seek. Alright, with this said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure if you like the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao. Live your life like a movie.